Sana'a, an ancient walled city and the capital of Yemen. The country, whose clan-governed north and socialist south were divided for decades, was, like Germany, reunified in 1990. And it's here where the first completed wall segments went on display after being painted by artists from both parts of the Islamic country. The project is the brainchild of Michael Jeisman, the director of communications for Germany's Goethe Institute.
As the anniversary of the fall of the wall approaches, the Goethe Institute's wall journey, with brick center places in the world still marked by division and separation, will be part of the festivities culminating on November the 9th. This symbolic wall will help remind Germans that there are other countries still experiencing division, where there's no end in sight yet.
While Yemen is no longer divided between North and South, artist Rima Qasim says that unification has failed to bring true freedom to the conservative Muslim country.
I think not easy to take women go out and working, and nobody know also the art, or what the meaning of the art, or how he important for the life. Everybody think about art is something not necessary, and nobody accepts.
As part of the wall segment that she fashioned, Qasim included the fabric used to make black veils that women in Yemen are required to wear. A total of 8 artists from both North and South spent 2 weeks designing their canvases and discussing the media they used and its deeper meaning.
Of course, I use here symbols, circles and birds. I'm talking about the freedom. Before the union between the two parts in Yemen, we felt all the time we are not free people.
Here I have only used the symbols to show the unity of the two parts of the country. And I would have used the same thing for my country too. It has the same feeling because we had also the north and south side, and here we have east and west side. So it's all, the unity all over the world is the same, you know.
In Yemen, like Germany, political division is now history. But in other stops on the wall's journey, separation remains. Take Korea, for example. The peninsula has been divided since 1953 between 2 hostile states in the north and south.
This is the northernmost point that regular South Koreans can travel to see North Korea.
The Demilitarized Zone is 4 kilometers wide and 250 kilometers long, no man's land that's off limits without military permission. With constant threats of war, the consequences of division are part of everyday life in South Korea. For 3 artists, the separation of the 2 Koreas is the basis of their contributions. The Goyang Art Center where they worked on the canvases lies exactly between the South Korean capital Seoul and the border with the north. The city of Goyang is part of the densely populated Seoul metropolitan region, numbering more than 20 million inhabitants. The wall canvases traveled more than 8,000 kilometers from Germany to South Korea. Kyu Chul-an studied in Germany, and for him it was important to include both German reunification and Korea's division in his artistic work.
I
don't know what the final result will be yet. I still have to think about it.
A military watchtower, a symbol that's understood worldwide, was the subject Yang Sun-soo chose for his wall segment. This is an excerpt from a Korean novel. Sakyong Hwang is one of South Korea's best-known writers and was in Berlin when the wall came down. The impressions he came away with have influenced his literary work.
The lines I wrote on my wall brick are taken from my novel, The Old Garden. In it, the female protagonist stands in front of the Berlin Wall and thinks about her lover, who's behind bars in prison.
But the Goethe Institute's global project also shows that different walls serve different purposes. The 2,000-year-old Great Wall of China is a symbol of the country's strength and its isolation.
Beginnen wir bei China.
Take China, for example. China has its own wall, and today it's a tourist attraction. But the idea behind the wall says a lot about China's relationship to the rest of the world.
Some artists like Huang Ri are very aware of the contrast between China's opening up to the rest of the world and its internal divisions.
When I think about the Great Wall of China, I personally see before my eyes the events of June 4th, 1989, the Tiananmen Square massacre. The wall, of course, still exists, but in a way it's off limits. In the past, there were many places in China that were off limits to artists, and I think that's also a kind of wall. I also think of walls as mental barriers.
Some of the big names of the Chinese art scene signed on to the Goethe Institute's project. Among them, Wang Guangyi, who's considered by many the most important figure in the genre of Chinese pop art. His works fetch millions at auction. Jiang Xiaogang is also a star. On his wall canvas, he plans to depict Mao Zedong and Adolf Hitler sitting across from one another. Jiang Xiaogang said yes immediately when he was asked to take part in the Wall Journey project.
The fall of the Berlin Wall was very moving to people in China. Germans weren't the only ones overjoyed. All of humanity was. I'm very happy to be able to participate in the project and make a contribution with my ideas.
The journey also took the wall to Israel and the Palestinian territories, where a real wall symbolizes a seemingly unresolvable conflict.
The Goethe Institute doesn't focus on undisputed issues. Our wall journey also includes regions where the wall is a highly controversial political issue, and it isn't easy to say who has the right to build a wall or who has the right to criticize it or take it down.
In Ramallah, the administrative center of the Palestinian West Bank, the Goethe Institute invited young people to design segments for the wall project. Students at Bir Zayed University spent weeks sharing their thoughts on the barrier and on separation as they designed 6 canvases on campus. Rana Abagana is a Palestinian student, and since Israel has built the wall, she is no longer able to travel freely.
It separates us. It separates us from the things we love, from our families, from our neighborhoods, our friends. It's something that we do not like, we do not agree with.
El-Fachem is an Israeli Arab town on the other side of the border. Here too, young people at an art gallery are working on segments for the wall project. Their initial reaction to the subject is more cautious. Then they visit the border security zone between Israel and Palestinian territory. Saeed Abu Shakra, who runs the art gallery, wants to give the youths an idea of what life was like before the barrier went up. The teenagers later gave creative expression to their ideas.
What the children have painted here shows their thoughts and their hopes. On the one hand, we have the real wall that we saw earlier today. But we also have a cactus representation. For Palestinians, that's considered a kind of natural boundary that is used to enclose villages. The children came back with a lot of impressions, as you can see from their creations on the wall canvases.
Soon all eyes will be on Germany as it celebrates the 20th anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. And at the Brandenburg Gate, the wall artworks from around the world will be shown, each of them representing other places still waiting for their happy ending.